Hi guys! Hi my little whovians, and today I'm going to be going through my Doctor Who collection. Part 1 will be books, so let's get started. So up first we have Doctor Who, Touched by an Angel, written by Jonathan Morris. And it's about weeping angels, and I'll read the blurb. The past is like a Phrygian country, nice to visit but really you wouldn't want to live there. In 2003, Rebecca Whittaker died in a road accident. Her husband Mark is still grieving. He receives a battered envelope posted 8 years ago, containing 7 instructions with a simple message: "You can save her." As Mark's given a chance to save Rebecca, it's up to the Doctor, Amy and Roy to save the whole world, because this time the Weeping Angels are using history itself as a weapon. And currently, I've read this before, and I'm on page 19. It's a really good book. It's a nice design. And yeah. All of this is mostly going to be Matt Smith's era of Doctor Who, because I was a bit late to the party. Not a lot, but a bit. Up next, we have The Plague of the Cybermen, written by Justin Richards. And the Cybermen in this story come back in reasonable. When the Doctor arrives in the 19th century village of Kilimantenberg, he discovers the residents suffering from some kind of plague, a wasting disease. The victims face a horrible death, but what's worse, the dead seem to be leaving their graves, and the plague warriors have returned. The Doctor's come to me, he knows what's really happening, he understands where the dead goes. Then he's sure the plague warriors are just a myth. But as some of the Doctor's oldest, most terrible enemies start to awaken, and he realises maybe, just maybe, he misjudged the situation. And it describes them. And here's what they're quoted as in the story. They like the shadows, you know. You know them as plague warriors. And currently, I've been rereading these again. I'm on page 105 and on chapter 7 and page 105. It's really fun to read. I've read this in school before, and it's a really good book. Up next, we have Tales of Trenzalore, the 11th Doctor's Final Stand. This book gets me really emotional because you get to find out what he did on Trenzalore during those years he left Clara before he regenerated. And I'll read the book. As it has been foretold, the armies of the universe gathered at Trenzalore. Only one thing stood between the planet and destruction: the Doctor. For 900 years, he defended the planet and the tiny town of Christmas against a force that would destroy it. Some of what happened during those terrible years is well documented, but most of it has remained shrouded in a mystery and darkness until now. The glimpse of just some of the terror the people faced, the monstrous threats the Doctor defeated. These are tales of the monster who found themselves afraid, and not the man who was not. And a quote up here is, "Here for centuries, and not a moment's peace and quiet." I've read this before, and I think I was just on the last chapter, which was chapter 6. So I finished it. It still gets me emotional every time. Okay guys, moving on to the next one. Up next we have Apollo 23, and this is early Matt Smith as well, just when he was known as Raggedy Man. And it's written by Justin Richards, and on the problem says, "Houston, we have a problem with an astronaut holding a sub." Well, I should think. You would. But anyway, read the blurb. For a few moments this afternoon, it rained on the moon. An astronaut in a full spacesuit appears out of thin air in a busy shopping centre. Maybe it's a publicity stunt. A photo shows a well-dressed woman in a red coat lying dead at the edge of the crater, a dark side of the moon, beside her beloved dog, Poochie. Maybe it's a hoax. But as the Doctor and Amy find out, they are just minor events and sinister plan to take over every human being on Earth. The plot centers in a secret military base on the moon. That's where Amy and the TARDIS are. The Doctor is back on Earth without the TARDIS. There's no way to get to moon to save Amy and defeat aliens. What is there? The Doctor discovers one last great secret that could save humanity. Apollo 23. And this is what it's described. And this is what has been described on the back. A thrilling new adventure featuring the Doctor and Amy as played by Matt Smith and Karen Gillan is a spectacular hit series from the BBC television. Up next we have The Night of the Humans, written by David Lewin. And it says, "The clock is ticking, the humans are coming." I apologise if I can't read properly. I'm dyslexic and I can't quite talk properly. So please do not take the mick out of me in the comment section, but I'm not going to say that's going to happen. This is Gaia, the most hostile environment in the galaxy. 2,050 years worth of junk floating in deep space, home to shipwreck Citan, carnivorous zoologs, and most of all, the humans. The Doctor and Amy arrive in a terrifying world in the middle of all of them out in frontier war between cybermen and humans. And the countdown's already started. There's a comet in the sky, and it's on collision with Gaia. When the Doctor is kidnapped, it's up to Amy and the galaxy-famed swashbuckler, Dirk Slipstream, to save the day. But who is Slipstream exactly? What is he doing here? I'm going to have to move those over a bit because I've got the next part to start. Okay, up next we have the Forgotten Army, and it says, after 10,000 years, the invasion begins, and it's written by Brian Minchin, and it's described. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, in a frozen Arctic waste, an alien army landed. Only now, thousands of years later, it isn't a story, and the army is ready to attack. New York, one of the greatest cities on the 21st century Earth. But what's going on in the museum? And is that really a woolly mammoth rampaging down Broadway? An ordinary day becomes a time of terror as the Doctor and Amy meet new deadly enemy. The vicious of army and the Voikoid are armed to teeth and determined to enslave the human race, and though they're only 7 centimeters high. Okay. The Voikoid army swim across Manhattan and stealing it from the world with a powerful alien force field. Amy has just 24 hours to find the Doctor and save the sea. If she doesn't, the people of Manhattan will be taken to work as asteroids time on the Voikoid home planet. But as time runs out, who can she trust? How far will she have to go to free New York from the Forgotten Army? I've finished the book, but it was a real good read. On to the next one. These are going to be a really long video. I apologise. Oh, tired. Okay. This one's written by Ollie Smith. Ollie. Okay, and it's called Nuclear Time. And it says, the impossible has already happened. And the blurb reads, my watch is running backwards. Colorado, 1981. The Doctor, Amy and Rory arrive in Appletown, in idyllic village in the remote American desert, where the hometown folks go peacefully about their suburban routines. But when two more strangers arrive, things begin to change. First is a mad scientist whose warnings are cut short by an untimely and brutal death. The second is the Doctor. As he falls from the sky, the Doctor is trapped, the TARDIS is damaged, and the Doctor finds he's living backwards through time, with Amy and Rory being hunted through the suburban streets of the Doctor's own future and getting further away with every passing second. He must unravel the secrets of Appletown before time runs out. This is a good read and I recommend it. It's hours of entertainment. I finished this within 4 days, I think. Okay, off to the next one. This is a bit later on to Doctor Who now. Doctor Who, The Glamour Chase by Gary Russell. And it says, seeing is not believing. And you can see right down the bottom with fire behind him, with Amy with gold at the end, and the blood roots. Why are you here? I mean, who are you exactly? An archaeological dig in 1936 unearths a relic of another time, and as the Doctor and Amy and Rory realise, another place, another planet. But if Enola Porter, noted adventurers, he has really found an evidence of alien civilization. How come she isn't famous? Why has Aru never heard of her? Add to that, since Amy's been travelling with him for a while now, why does she now think the Doctor is from Mars? As the ancient spaceship reactivates, the Doctor discovers that nothing and no one can be trusted. Things could be literal fabrications and very deadly indeed. We can a Doctor believe when no one is what they seem, and how can you defeat an enemy who bend it matters itself to their will? For the Doctor, Amy and Rory, all of humanity, the very secrets of the past are very much a threat to the present. On to the next one. Up next we have The King's Dragon by Una McCormack. And it says, be careful what you wish for. And the blurb reads, they called it an enema. It turns minds, solid merchandise and swayed electrics, and did its job far too well. In a city-state of Girth, the king lives in a golden hole, and the people want for nothing. Everyone's happy and everyone's rich, or so it seems. When the Doctor, Amy and Rory look beneath the surface, they discover secrets. In dark corners, the strange creatures are stirring. At the heart of the hole, a great metal dragon oozes gold. Then the herald appears, demanding return of the treasure. Next come gunships. The battle position for all the treasure has begun. Only the Doctor and his friends can save the people of the city from being destroyed in a crossfire or of an ancient civil war. But will King surrender his newfound wealth, or will he fight to keep it? This isn't a proper book. It is by the BBC, and this one is a time traveller's journal, the world of Who according to you. Last page I got to was this, and it's from the 5th Doctor. Like Alice, I tried to believe 3 impossible things before breakfast. And it says, believe 3 impossible things here. And it leaves your activity, so you can cut out a jammy dodger and press a celery leaf here. Well, you might need to keep a celery just in case of an emergency. You can also make an upgrade of a sonic screwdriver. And you can make a TARDIS key, trace around a key here, and I did with it one of my bike keys because it reminded me of the 11th key. Yeah, it has all sorts of activities, and at the front it says, it's called the TARDIS. It can travel anywhere in time and space, and it's mine. A quote from 11th Doctor here. Okay guys, that's it for the end of part 1. I will be back with part 2 soon, and I'll go through my bigger book collection. of Doctor Who books that are a part of my collection. Then I'll go through the books and the action figures I own. Bye guys, hope you enjoyed the video.